listening to Not So Live from Asteroid G, putting on our rose-colored glasses and revisiting a kind of classic. I'm your host, Mike Finkelstein.
Hey, your buddy Mike the Ghoul here, gonna channel his inner Buckeye because Wolverines! We're talking some Red Dawn.
I want you to know I left it teed up for you to come in and shout Wolverines. I almost stole that. I let you have that one.
I appreciate that. I was I'm gonna have to temper my Wolverine depending on what he does. I can lean into it.
We totally blew out the microphone. So we are discussing today Red Dawn. There were two Red Dawns. Both of them are honestly old at this point, and one of them was not asked for. Let's just be clear about this. The only reason we're discussing these at all is because I found them on Amazon Prime when I was reviewing action movies, and after watching, I'm like, hey, did you want to talk about these? And you were like, yeah, I've seen them. One of them sucks.
The first one. Let's just get into it, right? The first one is a product of its time.
1984. Yep.
Exactly. It's very Cold War feels. It's very, Russia. You almost get some kind of Soviet back and forth Rocky vibes from it and everything.
It's of the era.
Time.
Yeah.
Yes. Of the era.
It slots in perfectly around Top Gun and Rocky IV and all those, where it's America must beat up the Russians via teenagers or boxing or Tom Cruise.
Yeah, exactly. And good Patrick Swayze in for some good measure, you know. So I hesitate to use the word good. I like it. I'll say it's a good movie, but overall I'd say it's a fine movie. I don't know if it's for everybody. People see it today, the old one, and they'll be like, I guess it's fine. There's some famous people in it or whatever, and but it's a product of its time.
Yeah.
So then we get to the second one that you're right, nobody asked for, but okay, you got some Chris Hemsworth, there's some other people in here, all right, I'm down. Josh Peck, Josh Hutcherson from, and I've never seen them, The Hunger Games, but I know him from Zathura and shit, which is a better movie.
That's where he is from. Yeah, he's from both of those. I remember that. I was watching Zathura at one point. I go, that's that little shithead. Look at that.
Zathura, basically Jumanji in space, but almost better.
Literally,
honestly,
it is better, but it is literally Jumanji in space. You are correct on that. Yeah.
So I was okay. You got some star power in here. I'll see it. And they tried to, I guess, make it more kind of relevant to the time. Instead of the Russians, it's the North Koreans, and there's cyber attack.
We'll cover that, but it wasn't supposed to be. But
I know.
Yeah.
So it's fine, and
it is aggressively fine.
And it was okay in the terms of the action, the boom, very blah 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 blah, and the explosions were obviously better, and all
the razzle
that.
dazzle was there.
It was fine, but the movie itself was just flat.
Yeah,
I didn't like it.
It was.
Before we move along, though, we do want to take a moment this week to thank our sponsors, Fix-It Industries. From Earth to the stars and looking to improve your life, we are Fix-It. Planetary terraforming any and every resource we can pillage to improve your quality of life. No terrain is too rough or tough or too sacred to keep us from doing our best for you. Fix-It. The sky is the limit until we deplete it. Thank you this week for our sponsor.
The basic concept of both of these is that you have a peaceful little town somewhere in the middle of nowhere, which is not so much middle of nowhere in the second movie, but that's besides the point. One of them is Midwest, I think it's Colorado or Oklahoma, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Somewhere Colorado, Wyoming.
Western with open plains and horse riding and shit. And the other is Spokane, Washington, which
Pacific Northwest.
Not at all middle of nowhere. That's fucking where vampires live. Sparkly vampires live there.
Oh my God.
I'm not wrong. I saw this, I go, motherfucker, is this a vampire movie? Shit.
They got so many pretty people in there, they could have got away with it. Maybe.
Not even a good vampire movie either. I'm just putting that out there. Sorry, all you Twilight fans, those movies sucked.
I never watched them. I refuse. I think they're shit.
We're way off topic. Anyway, so in both of these cases, people just going about their day. There's going to be a football game, all this kind of shit. And then suddenly the communists, quote unquote, attack. It's not even the direct threats that you expect. In the first movie, it was the Cubans and Nicaraguans attacking in place of the Soviets, even though the Soviets were backing them. And then the second movie, it's North Korea backed by China, quote unquote, even though they never say that, because they couldn't make it China, because despite making a very anti-China movie, they're like, wait, maybe we
Mhm.
should try and sell this to China. So they spent
Yeah,
like $1
yeah, yeah.
million correcting it in post and making it North Korean. And it's obviously bad. Like the mouths don't
Mhm,
match up or anything.
mhm.
It's bad. But
Yeah,
yeah,
and I don't mind bad dubbing. Like I'll
mm-hmm,
watch an old ass Godzilla movie, just
mm-hmm,
for the hell of it. Like I love that stuff. Like
mm-hmm.
it is what it is. But I mean, this is just
It was bad.
it's so noticeable for 2012. That's
It
what I'll
is.
say.
It is. And so a group of teens escape from the communists, and the communists are
Mhm.
like, oh, we must chase after them. And then suddenly we basically get a war flick of teenagers versus trained soldiers where somehow the teenagers win in both
Yeah,
cases. Yeah, that's
yeah,
it.
it's
It
very strange.
there's no like the second one tries to put in some plot, but it's bad plot. But
Mhm.
by and large, it's just teenagers fight the Soviets for like an hour and a half, and then
Yeah.
the movie ends.
Yeah, very guerrilla warfare
Hmm.
tactics and
Hmm.
everything, hit and run, popping tires. Like it was very much like they were like kids doing shit in the first one, like,
Yes,
real like
pranks.
troublemakers, yeah, pranks and stuff like that.
That slowly
This
built up to being trained guerrilla soldiers because they learned it
yeah,
over time.
exactly.
Yeah,
And the second one, they just kind of take Chris Hemsworth's character and like throw him in as like, the kid who left town comes back to see his little brother and he's the trained soldier and then he's the one that trains them because okay, sure.
reasons.
I get it. You had to do something different, but like I didn't understand it. Like Chris Helmsworth himself, I like him, but he felt almost out of place to me compared to like what the first one was.
I mean, and you say they had to do something. They didn't have to do anything. They didn't have to make this movie. It's a
Fair.
bad movie from start to finish that has no place in the global world that we live in right now. I could kind of forgive the first movie. It was very 1980s and silly,
Yeah,
but like it
sure.
was playing upon a particular thread of American worry at the time about
Mhm.
whether or not the Soviets were going to try and start World War III with us, and the
Yeah.
Cold War wasn't over yet, even though we were spiraling towards that. And
Mhm.
people were just worried. So it played on fear, like any good sci-fi. This was almost a sci-fi concept. Sci-fi from the 1950s played on nuclear fears and so forth and
Yeah.
so on through the decades.
Mhm.
This was playing on Cold War fears. And I get
Yes.
that. The whole premise was illogical and stupid and wouldn't have ever happened because obviously if the Russians could invade via the Cubans and Nicaraguans, they would have
Right.
already and they didn't. So
Yeah.
so yeah, the premise doesn't really work in the context of the movie we got, but you kind
Mhm.
of just shut your brain off and enjoy it like you do for Top Gun, which has the Soviets and the bad guys even though they're never named, or how
Yeah.
Rocky defeats Ivan Drago and somehow wins the Cold War in 1985. It's that kind
Yeah.
of dumb shit. You accept it. There's no logical reason because China is not an invasion style empire. They're not
No.
even really an empire. They've consolidated their borders and they just want to like be left the fuck alone to become an economic powerhouse. They've seen what globalization really means at this point. That's what they're interested in. They're not going to attack. North Korea doesn't have the power or the ability to attack. The whole
Mhm.
premise of the rebooted movie, especially once they decided to make it North Korea and not China, is
Mhm.
incredibly fucking stupid. The movie has no
Mhm.
reason to exist.
No, it really doesn't, and, like, it doesn't work.
It
It just
doesn't work.
doesn't work. You don't get attached to these characters the way you do in the
No.
first one. You don't give a shit. You hate the main kid for a period of time. He just sucks. Like, the younger brother, I can't even remember his name, Matt or something like that, I think his name was, or Mark. I didn't even like him
Not
half the time.
Hemsworth. That's what it
No.
is.
Yeah, yeah, not
What
Hemsworth,
which I
It
want
just
to say something. Why did they hire some random fucking kid to play the younger brother? Chris Hemsworth has brothers. They could have just hired another Hemsworth.
I know, right? I mean, I could have done with a little nepotism here,
Right?
right?
Sell us on this. Come on. Like, I
Yeah,
love it when movies are like, there's a large family of
mhm,
actual actors, and they hire like a sister that's 20 years older than the younger sister to play the
yeah,
same character at different points. That feels natural because they look similar. This is
yes,
one of those ones that really called for two Hemsworth for the price of one, you know?
for sure. Yeah, definitely.
I agree with you. The characters in the first version are more like, well, they're still paper thin. Like, I
Sure.
think part of the reason why you and I like them is because they're Brat Pack adjacent actors that we've seen in a lot
Yeah,
of stuff. So we have
yeah,
some passing familiarity with them. I don't know that I'd care about Jennifer Grey's character in the first movie if she wasn't the chick that played the evil sister in Ferris Bueller. I
yeah,
recognize her. I like her. Patrick Swayze
yes,
earns my respect because he's Patrick Swayze. Most of the kids in the 2012 version are just these
yeah,
are random people with I've never seen before, and they get so little storytelling investment. that I can't care about them. The only one that I care about at all is Chris Hemsworth, and spoiler, he dies. So, like...
Right? What was that?
Yeah, out of nowhere, for no reason, let's kill the one character we actually like and the actor who, brought everyone into the movie. That was...
Yeah, and
Yeah.
what was crazier about that too is like they kind of set it up where they wanted to do a sequel with kind of the way this ended, but you
Yes.
killed the person that you cared about.
Yeah, you killed
Like,
the one guy that would draw us in for a sequel, so why would
Yeah.
we watch it? Yeah.
It's almost like word got out that like, after that first weekend, like don't go bother, Hemsworth dies, and nobody went to see it.
Yeah, it tanked hard. They spent like $65 million on this movie that doesn't look it, and they made 50
Yeah.
something, and
51 million. I got it.
yeah, it's bad. I just don't understand. Top Gun Maverick came out and did well. People were clearly hyped for that, but everyone for some reason still loves Top Gun, which I don't understand. I don't like that movie whatsoever, but that's fine. That's me. I'm allowed to not like things once in a while.
You are. You're allowed to have your opinion even when it's wrong.
I will disagree with you on that part, but that's fine. But I'm not a huge Top Gun fan, but I will recognize that if what you wanted was Top Gun Maverick delivered all the Top Gunniness you would want. And like it was the perfect legacy sequel for Top Gunny fans.
Agreed, yeah.
Red Dawn was a cult classic. Like it did fine in theaters. It wasn't like a complete bomb. It was successful, but it really built its audience on video and cable afterwards. So while it doesn't fit the exact definition of a cult classic, it basically is.
Yeah,
and
it's not like your Rocky Horror Picture Show kind of cult classic, but this is something that everybody saw on a Thursday night on TNT at some point.
Yeah. And it's from the same era. So I get the thought that, we're going to reboot some of these things. Let's make a continuation of some kind of Red Dawn. But instead of doing what Maverick did, which is actually continuing the story, because the first Red Dawn ended in a way where you could do sequels and fill in gaps of history and so forth. They're like, no, let's just make a new one with a completely different story and try and make it so we can make a trilogy out of it, which didn't work.
Didn't even get off the ground.
No, it doesn't work as a trilogy, doesn't work as a movie. Like, as you said, the hero dies that we care about, and we're supposed to want a sequel with this dipshit brother who's been an asshole the whole time.
Yeah. No hard pass for me. I gotta like take a little time to like look up like movies and when they came out, because this feels like that 2012 era where like people were really trying to cash in on like 80s and 90s nostalgia, bring it back for movies, like reboots, redos, and like this was just one that like nobody asked for, and I'm sad we got it anyway.
Same era as like Rise of the Planet of the Apes and other stuff like that, but unlike Rise of the Planet of the Apes, which is a fantastic movie, this one sucked. Yeah. Oh, which, by the way, I don't know why they're going to apparently reboot the Planet of the Apes series again instead of doing another sequel. That is a whole other topic for discussion right there, but...
That's a strange choice, but okay.
I know. It'll just be the Red Dawn of Planet of the Apes, and I will still fucking watch it, because I'm that kind of fan.
Probably, but I mean, you know what? We haven't gotten there yet. Let's hold out hope.
It's hard. I went into this hopeful, because, like, the first one's cheesy, but it's dumb.
Yes.
And all the second one had to be was cheesy and dumb. And it doesn't even manage to do that. It's just dumb.
It tried to take itself seriously at some points. It felt like, and like, this is not a serious concept, but like a serious subject, right? Like, you can do this a certain way and make it the way they did in the 80s and play off of that feels. You tried to make this movie something it wasn't, slap the name on it of something that did it better, and then like it was just a piece of shit.
Yeah. You didn't tap into that inherent jingoistic 1980s corniness, and there's no equivalent in the early 2010s to tap into. You have to either go more camp like Starsky and Hutch did, or you've got to play it more serious and actually come up with a plot line that can work. And then you run into the problem of, well, there's no country powerful enough to do a land invasion of the United States. Hell, the United States is not powerful enough to do a land invasion of Iran. Like, try to imagine someone invading our scale of country. That's just not happening. Like there's a problem with your concept that has already been proven by global events.
At least the other one, the 80s one, like the coming up from the South, like through, South America and Mexico and all that made a little more sense.
Well,
like,
and they hand wave it. They're like, before we could suspect anything, they'd invade it. And you're like, well, that's really bad, but let's just pretend that worked. Okay, sure.
I don't know. Maybe Trump watches a lot of Red Dawn. I don't know.
I feel like that's one of those ones where you have the MST3Ks guys across the bottom of the screen, and they're sitting there going, that sounds like a really stupid explanation, but okay.
Yeah, yeah. All right.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Yeah, yeah. We didn't think they were a threat till they were, kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
that is not the American
The,
way of handling anything. It's
the
shoot first, ask questions later.
the second one does this whole, oh, they had like this EMP bomb and
Yeah.
they swept in and they did this and that, and it tries to like come up with all of these explanations when you're sitting there going, I kind of respected the previous one for just being like, shit happens. Oh well.
Yeah, they try to throw in like this cyber attack kind of stuff and
Yeah.
everything, and like the movie just is all over the goddamn
All
place.
over.
Yeah.
Oh.
They tried to like pick 3 different plots for reasons that things are happening, and none of them stuck. And
No.
they all ended up in the movie at the same time, and it just confused people if you
Oh,
even saw
yeah.
it.
Well, and no one did because this movie tanked in theaters and has been largely forgotten until we decided to talk about it again. So I'm
Yeah.
sorry about that. We felt like discussing it.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't mind coming in and talking about the one from the 80s. You know, like
No,
we
that
can
was
talk
fun.
about that some more.
That was
That's a
fun.
fun movie. You know,
Good.
Patrick Swayze doing his best. You know, C. Thomas Howell in there. It's that Brat Pack adjacent,
Yeah.
80s stars. Aside
Yeah.
from like Patrick Swayze, who's obviously, a
The
star in his own right.
the most Brat Packish that we had was Jennifer Grey, who was in
Mhm,
Ferris Bueller, which is not technically a Brat Pack movie, but it was
mhm.
done by John Hughes, so you kind of can consider it, even though it's not, but it kind of is. Like, it's weird.
Yeah,
Ferris Bueller sits in its own thing, but that's. Oh, and actually, Charlie Sheen was in that movie as well for a
he
quick
was.
cameo.
It's
Yep.
true. Yeah.
So it's adjacent. It's that era. It's those level of stars. It's that kind of storytelling. And I mean, honestly, you slap the John Hughes name on this, and I would think it was just a John Hughes war movie. It's pretty close to that.
It is. It
Mhm.
really is. You get that like teen camaraderie, that buddy kind of thing from
Mhm.
the kids in this. They feel like high school kids.
Yeah, they do.
They didn't feel like they were high school kids at all, and they were just all over the goddamn place. They didn't develop the characters, and they didn't really do that in the 80s, to your point. But at least you understood what the dynamic was there.
Yeah, they didn't even develop the setting well enough. Like, it's high schoolers at a football game is what we see at night before they all go and hang out at the local town tavern that somehow lets the high schoolers in anyway. So you get
Right.
this vibe that even though they're supposed to be high school kids, they're like college kids with maybe some ROTC training. It feels
Yeah.
off.
It does. It's
Yeah.
awkward. It's awkward at best. At least in
Hmm.
the first one, you kind of saw the gradual build up to where they
Hmm.
were, and how they figured things out along the way through the fighting.
Yeah, they do a montage in the new movie and suddenly everyone's trained and they're going off on missions. And the missions aren't even interesting.
No,
No,
no. They get this word at the end that like there's this magical phone inside the guy's briefcase that's resistant to EMPs. Let's go steal it, kind of thing. Like,
it's a
I,
MacGuffin that doesn't work. Yeah.
right? Like, come on, man. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Oh, well. So, yeah, if you want a good bit of 1980s cheese, the first
Yeah.
Red Dawn is pretty fun. There's honestly no reason to see the sequel. Most people decided that at the time, and we're only reaffirming that going back to it again. Like, there are better
Mhm.
Chris Hemsworth movies. There's a better
Yes.
version of this movie. There's
Mhm.
just better movies in general. Watch the first one, skip the second one.
Agreed. Yeah,
Yeah.
the first one's like it's grab a six pack, hang out with your buddies, put it on TV kind of thing, and remember it.
Silly, but it's
This
fun.
movie,
Yeah.
exactly. This movie is one that you don't even want to put on if you're not watching TV. It's so forgettable.
Oh, so bad. And by the time you're
Mhm.
done watching it, you're sitting there going, this movie existed?
Yeah,
I remember Chris Hemsworth. I don't remember anything else.
yeah. I mean, it was a waste of $65 million well spent.
Yeah. No, mostly probably
Mm,
on Hemsworth's salary, honestly.
Probably.
He was already doing Thor movies at that point, so he was probably expensive.
Yeah, I am noticing the only probably good thing, and I gotta listen and pay a little more attention. The
Uh-huh.
only good thing about this movie might have been it was by Ramin Djawadi, who does the music for like a
Oh,
lot
yeah,
of
yeah.
HBO things,
Yeah, yeah.
Game of Thrones, Westworld. So like I gotta go. I can't believe I'm gonna throw it on tonight, have it on my second monitor when I'm doing stuff, and I'm gonna listen to the music instead of watch the movie because he does good work
He does
on
great
music.
work.
So,
Yeah.
so
He's a name to pay attention to. Him and Bear McCreary. Anytime I see them in
yeah.
something like, well, at least the music's gonna be good.
Yes. It was
Yeah.
like the surprise that we got. Well, not the surprise for me that I got when we reviewed Tron. When I was like, "Holy shit, this is Nine Inch Nails! This soundtrack's so good." And then that's the only thing good about the movie.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's something we can say about Red Dawn 2012. At least there's no Jared Leto.
You know what? Thank God.
It makes it a D and not an F, you know?
Yeah. What if they made him play the younger brother or something at the time? Like, oh my God!
At least he didn't play the older brother. I
Yeah,
would
Jared
really
Leto-
hated him. Yeah.
Jared Leto, you got a chance here with Skeletor coming up, man. I trust your method acting, but like, please, dude, don't kill my childhood more than you already have.
Okay, we're way off base at this point, so we're going to wrap this up. This has been Not So Live from Asteroid G. Wondering what the hell Chris Hemsworth is doing here. I'm your host, Mike Finkelstein.
Here, buddy, Mike the Ghoul saying, just go watch anything else with Chris Hemsworth besides this.
There's better movies. There's some fun ones. He has a good time. We will see you all next time.